Hi, welcome back to Good in Bed. Very grateful to be in good health. I was sick last week, which fucking sucked. Um, and yeah, I thought I would do like a Q&A style video today because I wanted to answer questions that I'm not asking myself. So, um, I posted on my Instagram and people submitted questions on my Instagram story. And I also reached out to trusted family and friends to contribute some insightful questions as well. So that'll be interesting. First of all, number one question I got is fuck, marry, kill Edward, Jacob, and Charlie from Twilight. First of all, I would like to have all three of them, if I'm being honest. If I can't have all three, I would like to keep both Jacob and Edward. Very reminiscent of the scene in Breaking Dawn when they're both in the tent with her. I mean, two boyfriends. Great. If I really have to choose, though, I'm gonna marry Edward, fuck Jacob, and unfortunately kill Charlie, which I hate. But I think Charlie's too emotionally unavailable for me. Like, I feel like if I were to have sex with Charlie, I would be like, are you even there? Are you here? Jacob is more passionate on the surface. So I think that works for me. And I have to marry Edward because that's the law. So, speaking of multiple boyfriends, I saw Wuthering Heights last night. Oh my God. Okay, well, first of all, I'm actually sweating thinking about it. I saw it last night. First of all, me and my best friend were literally the only two people in the entire theater on a Saturday night. What? Do people not go to the movies anymore? Second of all, yeah, I was thinking about the movie literally all day today. I'm still speechless, but I did wake up thinking about Yearning Men. I was laughing really hard because I talked to my cousin about the movie and she said that it set back the short Kings movement. Oh my, hello. Oh my God. I talked to my cousin about Wuthering Heights and she said that it set the short Kings movement back 100 years. And I said, to be honest, yes, but I feel like it set back the husband movement 100 years. And I'm not anti-husband. Like, I would like to get married, but I don't know. It's giving pro-yearner. Pro-yearner, okay? If the shoe fits. I'm pro-yearner here. Anyway, I have a big list of questions. They're on my phone. And there's a wide variety of stuff here. I was going to organize it, but I'm actually not going to at all. And I'm just going to pick ones that I think are interesting. So number one, someone asked my opinion on cancel culture. My opinion on cancel culture is that it's going to be different for everyone. Every single person is going to have a different standard of what is acceptable or not. And it's a fine line that everyone's walking. So I feel like that makes it difficult because not just one person can dictate what is cancelable or not. However, I do think that we need to get a grip on canceling criminals because I feel like there's a lot of people that are like have committed actual crimes where like cancel culture applies to them, but I'm like, they're not canceled, they're just criminals. Like, I feel like there needs to be more distinction between what that means and who being canceled is going to apply to. But again, every single person is going to have their own standard of what is the gray zone there. So yeah, I can't really have like a definitive answer of like if it's good or bad. I think that every single person needs to be able to exercise their skill of discernment, because if they don't, then they're gonna have a complete mush brain. So yeah. Someone asked the hardest part about becoming sober. So if you don't know, I've been sober. It'll be 7 years and 6 months. So I'm like 6.5 years sober. I think I became sober in 2019. Yeah. So yeah, I've been 6.5 years sober, and I think that the hardest part about becoming sober is not just the initial experience of detoxing. I mean, for me, that was absolutely so horrendous. It was enough in itself to ever deter me from like being dependent on any kinds of substances ever again. But I feel like the hardest part about becoming sober is the long term logistics of how you are going to change the structure of your life. Because I feel like sobriety is mostly about your relationship with yourself and the way that you operate with your interpersonal relationships and the world around you. So I think that being sober is not just about substances or alcohol. I think that it's a very layered thing where it requires you to confront a lot of aspects of yourself that maybe you wouldn't if you were partaking in substances, because you would be able to use that as not like a scapegoat, but a band-aid. You know, it's like when people go through hard shit or when they have a bad day at work, or it's also not just bad stuff, right? It's like when people want to hang out with friends, going out, like it affects your social life, and it also is affecting your life behind closed doors, because I feel like the times when it's been most challenging for me is not even like when I want to go out, because I feel like I don't really have the urge to like go out and drink or to like do drugs. But I feel like since becoming sober, I've gone through a lot of really, really hard and challenging things, and it's remaining sober through the trials and tribulations of life. And I also think that it's about being able to nurture yourself and have healthy outlets. I feel like that's a big thing for me that I've been going on a journey on this past year, is just making sure that I have creative outlets that I'm fostering, outlets for me to be able to exercise some type of meditative state. But I feel like that can be done through multiple different ways. I feel like that also depends on the person. Like for me, moving my body is very meditative. Like I reach a flow state when I am partaking in body movement, whether that's dance or hiking or just going on a walk or going to yoga or Pilates. Like I think that releasing energy that way is really cathartic for me, and helps me all the time, like not just in bad times, but it just helps to keep me healthy and consistent and showing up for myself. So yeah, I feel like the hardest part about becoming sober, it's a really layered answer. It's not just one thing. It's, you know, reformatting the structure of your life, taking a look at your relationship with yourself, your relationship with other people, making sure that you have healthy coping mechanisms, knowing that it is probably going to affect your social life going forward, and the way that you know, are able to process things. And yeah, so it's a layered concept, I think. Someone asked tips for being more direct and taking up space. I love this question because I think that it not only has to do with the way that you consciously perceive yourself, but I feel like it comes down to the way that you subconsciously are secure in yourself. I feel like knowing that you have trust with yourself, which can be built through so many different situations. I feel like for me, I had a harder time feeling okay with taking up space, being direct and advocating for myself when I could not trust that I was not going to betray myself. And that can look like so many different things. So it's hard to give one example, but tips for being, sorry, I just keep repeating it because it helps me process. Tips for being more direct and taking up space. Yeah, I think that being secure in yourself is like the biggest thing, which sounds so simple. But exercising, not abandoning yourself in situations across the board in different aspects of your life is going to reinforce a subconscious level of trust with yourself. And I think that is, I can speak for myself. That's what helps me be more direct and take up space, is like not just something that happens there in that moment. It's like that courage for me has been built up over time through an accumulation of experiences and choices that I've made to reprogram subconsciously and consciously the way that I view and value myself. Do you genuinely feel like you deserve to be advocated for? And it doesn't even have to be something that serious. Like it could just be a small thing. It's like the fear of being seen or acknowledged, or I feel like there's so many layers to this. Like even fear of failure, I feel like heavily ties into the concept about being able to take up space and be direct. And I don't mean take up space by like monopolizing an energetic or physical space. I more so just mean like taking up space within yourself and giving yourself permission to operate in your wholeness, and show up responsibly, whatever that means to you. Because I think that, again, everyone's going to have a different definition of what these things mean based off of their own life experience, right? So person A and person B might view the concept of showing up responsibly and respectfully to themselves as something completely different based off of the lens that they are viewing it from, right? And that lens is created from every single experience that they've ever had in their life. So it's funny, I was actually talking to two different people about this yesterday and today. They both had mentioned something about being good or bad, or like they didn't want to say or think something because they thought it could be bad. And I had to remind them, and this is not like in an enabling way. I had to remind them like bad or good to whose standard, because if we take it a step further, the construct between good and bad, and I don't mean like objective good and bad, you know, but this kind of goes back to like the gray zone. Every single person on earth is going to have a different definition of what's good and what's bad. And at the end of the day, you need to use your discernment so that you can decide that for yourself, instead of not operating in your truth because of fear of how other people are going to perceive it. And I feel like a big thing, again, that has to do with like, you know, being okay with being authentic or being seen or being able to just be direct or take up space or whatever it is. I feel like a big part of that is not operating in survival mode, which again really goes back to the way your nervous system operates. And that's heavily tied to your subconscious and also like the conscious way that you operate in this world. But yeah, I think that it takes a lot of these things are intertwined. And yeah, I kind of just trailed off in my train of thought, but you know what I mean? Like, I think that a lot of these things are not just simple. They're very layered. It's going to depend on each person because everyone's lived a different life experience. And I think at the end of the day, you know yourself best, and you have to take accountability for who you are in this moment so that you can evolve past that. How to be the it girl when you're not feeling it. I would say to be the it girl when you're not feeling it, you have to know that it girls are human beings too. And the most it girl thing you can do is be resilient. And again, like, we're all human beings, so every single person on earth is going to experience shitty things and amazing things and everything in between. And the best thing you can do is give yourself space to experience those things, because that's why we're here on earth. And it is what it is when we're here. So let's experience those things and use it as a tool. Again, it's easier said than done, because when you're in these challenging situations, that's when it's your opportunity to use it as a portal. I feel like when something challenging, or when anything happens, right? When anything happens that allows you to feel a certain emotion, I feel like that emotion is a portal down to the source of who you are. So if you're experiencing something like super triggering or painful or challenging, to be able to utilize that moment as a way to, I don't want to say self-reflect, because I think self-reflecting 100% of the time is not healthy. Like, at a certain point, you have to know when to intellectualize and when to just be in your body and to move through things. So I think that that's going to be really important. And again, I think that that comes with the experience of growing a sense of sovereignty with yourself. But yeah, I think that, let's say if like you're feeling like shit, and it girl is going to look straight into that wound and see where it's coming from, and use it as a tool to become better and to alchemize that shit and transmute it to become hotter and better and more successful and more intelligent and more spiritually sound and more sovereign. So yeah, I think that it girls are resilient. If you're an it girl and you're having a bad day, that doesn't make you not an it girl. That just makes you a human being. So I would say don't stress about it. Whatever you're feeling, feel it, go through it. The only way out is through. And whatever's meant to be will be, and whatever's meant for you will not pass you by. In fact, it'll be inescapable no matter what you try. Oh my gosh, that rhymed. Let's see. Okay, someone asked, what is the difference between your cardinal sign and house placements, and how do you balance your identity between them? So first of all, cardinal signs is a category of astrological signs. So there's different categories. There is cardinal, fixed, and mutable placements. So every person's chart is going to have a balance of these things. Unless, there are certain people that can have like mostly one sign, but typically there's going to be like a mix. Let me read the question again. What is the difference between your cardinal sign and house placements, and how do you balance your identity between them? I think again, it's not like these things rule you. You are using them as a tool to help you make informed decisions about your life. So they don't necessarily control you, but you can consult them if you'd like. You know what I mean? So it is still like you still have power in your own person. But the difference between astrological signs and the houses and the planets, it's layered, right? So if you were to look at your birth chart, there's gonna be different astrological houses that rule over the themes of life or different aspects of life. So when you have certain okay, so let's say, how do I explain this? Every house is going to be ruled by a different sign, and it's going to be different for most people. So just know that, let's say in your 10th house, and that has to do with, like, for example, for me, my 10th house about like career, and it's like it's more than one thing. And also, I'm not an astrology expert, so I'll just say that, like, I don't know 100% of everything, but I do know how it works. So my 10th house placement, or sorry, my 10th house is ruled by Pisces. Okay. So, my career life, or like my work life, not my social life, cause that's kind of like 11th house. That is I'm going to see that aspect of my life possibly more influenced by the themes of Pisces, which is going to be like, you know, artful and deep and creative. And that totally checks out because I literally have always been a creative. I'm literally an actor. I model, I do a podcast. Like, I have other passions and endeavors. I was always a dancer. I was in theater. I grew up singing. I did choir. I did this, that, and the other. So that checks out, especially because those things growing up, I utilized them unknowingly. Like, I didn't know about astrology or anything. I used those themes to set up my professional life and my career. So, that checks out for me fully. So yeah, that's how it works. You're going to have, different houses in your chart that rule over different themes of your life or different aspects of your life. And then you'll be able to see by the sign that rules over that house, the theme that is going to be maybe more significant in that area of your life. And then if you have placements in that house, then that's going to be like extra influence that you see for certain things in certain areas. So yeah, that's like basically how it's going to work. It's going to be different for every person. You're not just bound and to one fate or whatever. Like, I don't think that astrology controls you. I do think that you can utilize it as a tool, like I said, to make informed decisions about your own person and your life and your journey. But I don't think that it strips you of your free will. So I would say that the best thing you can do is be educated about it, and use it as a tool. Let's see. Someone said, how do you keep your authentic? Oh my God. Oh my God. Someone asked, how do you keep your authenticity in an industry not made for your success? First of all, I feel like, again, this has to go down to the subconscious beliefs that you have about yourself and the safety you feel to be able to operate in an authentic state to begin with. So if you're going into an industry that is already going to naturally, because of the way the system is set up, oppress your authenticity, or for you to suppress it. Yeah, oppress it. Yeah, okay, whatever, fuck it. If you're going into an industry that's already going to be encouraging the oppression of authenticity, you have to go into that being locked in. Like, again, being secure in who you are, because I think that it's going to be a lot harder, obviously, to go into an industry like that if you're not even secure in who you are to begin with and the art that you're creating. So I think that for me, I have always valued in my craft, like, I've literally prayed, being like, I pray that I always get to utilize my integrity in my art, or I pray that I always am, you know what I mean? So, well, actually, I don't know, maybe you don't know what I mean. Yeah, I think that the best thing you can do in an industry like that is stay secure in yourself, believe in yourself, be resilient. Just know that if you don't believe in yourself, like, no one else is gonna believe in you. And I feel like a lot of times too, like, you have to believe in yourself so much that you have to continuously grow until you break through the glass ceiling and break through the threshold of not other people seeing the value, but sometimes, like, you do a lot of shit for a long fucking time and you go unrecognized, and you have to know that that does not affect your value, and that does not affect your talent and your aspirations and the ways that you've shown up and the things that you've created. Like, if you are not strong with yourself, if you are a fucking weak person, it's going to be hard for you to excel in an industry that already is going to want to suppress your authenticity and creativity. So yeah, I would say, like, to be strong with yourself. And also, that is assuming that the person I'm talking about even gives a shit about operating from authenticity. Like, there's a lot of people that don't give a fuck about that, and so they excel in industries regardless. So it's not like, oh, you can't excel if you don't operate from authenticity. I do think that that's more sustainable, and it's more valuable, in my opinion. It's irreplicable, right? Like, every single person on earth has a unique blueprint, right? Every person on earth has a unique essence that was perfectly crafted over their entire lifetime by every feeling, thought, experience they've ever had. And you're the only person that contribute. Oh my gosh, why can't I talk? You are the only person that can contribute your unique essence to the world. So if there's people that don't give a fuck about that and don't think that's valuable, then I'm sure that they'll find other ways to excel in industries that reward inauthenticity. Is that a word? I don't know. So yeah, I would say, if you care about it, know who the fuck you are, be strong with yourself, work on yourself outside of just your craft. Make sure you are nurturing yourself and your life so that you have the capacity to continue in an industry that is not set up for your success regardless. So that's what I would say. Okay, someone asked, what's a trait, feeling, or experience from childhood that you would like to cultivate into your life as an adult? That's a good question. That's a good question. I think that a feeling that I would like to cultivate into my life as an adult would probably be, I feel like I can't find the right word, and joy is not the right word, but I feel like I was stripped from a childhood at a relatively young age. I had to become hyper vigilant at a very young age because of the things I was experiencing. So I would say being able to operate, not having a feeling of anxiety and impending doom all the time, is something that I've worked on since being born. So I would say that having a sense of whimsy would be really important to me, because the amount of magic that you can experience, even like being in touch with your inner child and I don't know, it's just like being able to enjoy the present moment. I think what it comes down to. That's what I'm really practicing, is being present just right here, right now. That's something that's really important to me, and it sounds simple, but I've spent a lot of time in my life not living in the present moment because I've had to always look forward at the next thing. And I want to be able to do that less, but not in a way where I'm neglecting the future me. I think that it's just, I don't want to look into the future to my own detriment. So I would say being in the present moment is going to be really important for me. What are my top 3 tried and true hair care products for for maintenance and growth? First of all, I really wish I brought some water in this room because I'm actually dying right now. Um, Top 3 products for maintenance and growth. Okay, well, this is again a little bit difficult because every single person, if their prerogative is growth, hair loss can be caused by so many different things. So if that's something that you're dealing with, definitely make sure that you are taking whatever precautions necessary to make sure that everything is medically sound before you try and put a band-aid on something that has a deeper root issue going on. For me, I've gone through periods of I've gone through periods of time in my life where I have had extremely thick hair. And then I also went through a period of like 3 years where I was battling a really, really bad autoimmune condition, and I lost, like, I swear, most of my hair. I had like bald patches on my head. It was fucking crazy. But what helped me grow my hair back from that, I think, was number one, just becoming healthy again from a medical standpoint, obviously. But in addition to that, like scalp oiling and scalp massages and stimulation to your scalp for blood flow, I think is going to be really important. I've also taken peptides before, which I love. I've taken those on and off, and I do know that the ones that I was taking do help with hair growth. I think they help with like overall tissue repair for your whole body. I've taken a blend of them in the past, so that's also something that you'd get from your doctor. I would say know your hair texture, be educated about your own biology so you know what products would even be beneficial for you. I'm actually revisiting this topic right now because I am taking a lot of heated workout classes, and I feel like my hair has dried out majorly since the time I started. So I'm trying to do better about getting a new hair care routine in check that is tuned for the fact that I'm like in a 100-degree room 4 days a week, 5 days a week. So yeah, I would say things that are good for like growth are, I'm pretty sure, like pumpkin seed oil. Rosemary is obviously good, but again, don't use this stuff uneducated. Like rosemary oil and rosemary in general is very potent, and so you want to make sure that you are not overusing it because it can do more damage than it can good if it's being overused. So yeah, I think that good brands that I like, shampoo and conditioner, I literally use Native. It's works really good for my hair. Gosh. I also love the Moroccan oil blend. I'm fuck. I might need to go back to speech therapy classes. I like the Moroccan oil brand. I like Olaplex. I like Briogeo. Is that how it's pronounced? Also, Beyonce's new hair care line, Sacred, is really good. I also love for like styling products. Obviously, Miss Jessie's Pillow Soft Curls is the GOAT. Um, I, in terms of styling, will mix that with some of the Moroccan oil. I think it's like their light oil blend. And I put that on my hair when it's wet after I brush it out when I get out of the shower. Um, so yeah, I think that again, a lot of this is going to depend on your skin type, your hair type, your hair texture. If you are coloring it, what your lifestyle is. I would say just make sure that you are educated on what your needs actually are before you just start incorporating shit into your routine. Oh, what have you learned about yourself in the past year? I'm not kidding. Like, the past year for me was like I was sucked into a portal, and I don't want to say spit out, but it was like I went so deep down into myself, and I feel like I'm in the blossoming period right now after everything that has gone on the past year and a half. I feel like something for me that I've really had to get comfortable with is the concept of stillness. And again, utilizing that experience as a tool. I also think that like surrender and faith, all of these things have been a really huge theme in my life the past year. So I would say the past year, something that I learned about myself is, again, that I am able to transform in insane ways. I think that I have gotten really comfortable being uncomfortable, and not in a bad way. I do think that transforming and evolving is very uncomfortable. So in that sense, I've gotten comfortable in discomfort. I would say that I've learned about myself how to also, that's why I loved the question about how to take up space and be direct, because I feel like that's something that I've gotten really good at the past year and a half. And I'm sure that's also because I'm 27, and I'm pretty sure my frontal lobe finished forming about 2 years ago. So I'm sure that that has something to do with it, but I honestly mostly think that it's because I have been doing such insane work on myself that I think something that I've learned is like I will never stop changing. I will never stop transforming. Even if I wanted to, I can't. That's just the journey for me in this life, that I'm bound to transform and evolve. That's just what it is. I've accepted it. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's a beautiful thing. I would never want to stay 100% the same. So yeah, also a big thing I've learned this past year is that, and it's so like cliche but true, that I'm no longer operating on my time. Like, I'm on God's time. And I spent a long time not trying to fight the timing of things, but I feel like I've reached, again, a state of surrender because I've gotten to a point where I don't have to survive in a way. I forget where I was going with that, so I'm going to move on. What's your dream career project to work on? Dream directors, co-stars, or locations to work? Definitely like film and TV. For me, I feel like I'm very versatile. I've had a versatile experience and I have range, and I feel like that is also why the past year I've made so much progress. I mean, okay, so here's how I view it. Like, a direct benefit of me working on myself, right? And doing shadow work and confronting these different aspects of life, and continued learning in a psychological, spiritual, metaphysical standpoint per se. For me, that goes in hand with my passion in my career, which is connecting and telling stories of humanity per se, right? Being an actor, being able to portray different, I don't even want to say stories. It's like different people. I don't know what to reduce it down to, but understanding human beings of all different kinds, for me, is a huge part of my craft. And again, being able to show up in an authentic way, no matter what role I'm playing. So for me, I've also viewed the work that I've done on myself as a part of my journey that was given to me by God. Like, I think that it's part of my God-given purpose to be able to work through these things so that I'm able to take the work that I've done and utilize it to be in servitude of the world or of evolution and stuff like that. So, yeah, I would say that specifically, I mean, like, obviously A24 is so good for like more independent film styles or things that are more, I don't want to say acquired, but I would say maybe a little more edgy. And that's like a blanket statement. But yeah, I'm open, honestly. Like, there's so many different things that I am open to that I feel like I can't even say what like my dream thing is. Because I feel like whatever my dream thing would be is going to come to fruition in a way that I would never have been able to request it myself from God. So I think that there's so many talented people and actors and actresses that I love and different types of projects that I would love to get on. And so I feel like my dream isn't necessarily like, of course there's specific people and different specific production companies and directors and stuff that I would like to work with. For me, what's more important is being able to utilize my essence in an artful way. You know what I mean? Because I've done so much like commercial acting work, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with that, and I don't think that it's not artful. I just think that in terms of like film and television, I would like to use my essence in a more artful and impactful way. So I think that that's what I would say, that my dream is to be able to make an impact where, again, I can use my integrity, because that's another thing that it's like, I spent, I think, a long time growing up sacrificing my integrity in situations where I felt like I needed to do something that didn't feel okay on the inside. And so that's been a big journey in my life, is not abandoning myself and betraying myself. Like I said, it goes hand in hand with being secure and being able to take up space and operate in your wholeness and be authentic, which then is going to translate to my work, which I love, right? Because it's a domino effect. For me, doing this allows me to be a better me in this way. Also, this is going by so fast. Like, it's already been 45 minutes. Someone asked, through breaking barriers and continuous growth, there are going to be obstacles. What do you do in those moments of fragility and vulnerability? Lean into it. Again, use it as a tool. Like I said, when these experiences come up, these feelings that we have are basically a portal to like our subconscious self. So I would say when you are experiencing certain things where you might feel vulnerable, not that you need to always like intellectualize the way that you feel. Again, like I don't think that that's healthy to do that 100% of the time. However, I think that it's healthy and responsible to at least have an educated level of awareness of yourself. So yeah, I would say that in those moments, be gentle with yourself, be honest with yourself, and try to use those things to serve you and your evolution, right? The only way out is through. So it's like if it's coming up and it's making you feel a certain way, it's for a reason. And if you can optimize on that emotion and experience to continue to evolve, then do that. Because if not, I don't want to say you're doing yourself a disservice, but you are leaving things untapped in your being that would probably like to be recognized. So, yeah. What are the podcasts that I listen to? To be honest, I see so many different podcasts, like on TikTok, obviously, because everyone posts podcast clips. I listen to a mix though. I feel like podcasts where I'll actually listen to like the whole thing from beginning to end. If you like true crime Garage is a really good podcast. I've literally been listening to it for maybe like almost 10 years. So they have hundreds of episodes. I know that they're on Apple Podcasts. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're on every other platform too. So they're the GOAT for true crime. In addition to that, I would say like I love the Shits and Gigs podcast. I think it's fucking hilarious with James and Fuhad. They just like are shooting the shit the entire time. In addition to that, I would say, The Basement Yard is really funny. Those two guys that I don't know if they're friends or if they're related. They kind of look similar, but they're fucking hilarious. This Past Weekend is really good as well. That's like something that I watch pretty consistently. What else? I don't know. Like the thing is I see so many, but I think that's something that I need to look into more. I need to find like my good quality podcasts. And also what qualifies as a podcast now? Like you have to have a podcasting setup, obviously, I guess. But I also listen to a lot of talk style videos where they are not utilizing like podcast equipment. So yeah, I think that's like, is it a podcast or are you just making videos? I kind of watch them the same regardless, but yeah. What has been fueling you lately? Honestly, what's been fueling me has been seeing the fruits of all of the hard work I've put on myself up. Oh my God. Seeing the fruits of all of the hard work I've put into myself the past year and a half. Well, I mean, several years, but specifically, like, I feel like I have evolved so much over the past year and a half. And I'm really, really, I'm at the point where I have integrated things instead of just, like I said, intellectualizing them. So being able to see how I'm utilizing the things that I've learned over the past year and a half in the way that I actually operate and interact with myself and the world around me. Like it's not just something I know in my head. This is something that I live. It's who I am. And that like just lights me up inside. Like it literally fuels like a fire inside of me to never fucking stop. Like it's I can't. I'm addicted. I love it. I love seeing myself continue to just blossom into the most gorgeous flower, I could say. I have more questions. this is already an hour, so like I'll probably answer a couple more and then end it. But hello. Oh, okay. What conspiracy theory do you secretly believe might actually be true and why? Literally so many of them. Like, should I get a tinfoil hat? Like, I can't even say a specific one because at this point, I think that a lot of them are true. I mean, like, the most common one is like, have you seen the fucking footage of the moon landing? Like, also, he's so cute. Oh my gosh, I just want to freaking eat him. He's so cute. Uh, yeah, honestly, there's so many. Like, there's really so many at this point. Like, a lot of our world is a completely made up construct by people that want to benefit off of others, to put simply. So again, I think like literally one of the most important things that you can have in this life in today's day and age is the skill of discernment, and I will never shut the fuck up about it. I will never shut up about it. Like, all my bad bitches have discernment, and if you don't, get on it. If you don't, it's fine, but get on it. And yeah, because I don't want to say too many specifics, but shit out here is not real. Do you know that video of the lady on the plane, and then she starts freaking out saying that guy is not real? That guy, does she like that guy is like a lizard or something? Like, that guy is not real. I'm not saying like I believe in lizards, but I'm just saying a lot of this shit is not real. Okay, so yeah. Someone said, do you think everything happens for a reason, or do we just assign meaning after the fact? I think both. I think that it's layered, right? Because I think that there are certain things that happen for a reason, and then there are other things that happen that we want to make serve us, and not like serve us in a selfish way, but it's just like, if something fucked up happens, I'm not saying that you were destined to experience a fucked up, horrible thing, but it's like, how are you going to make that count for your life, and somehow transmute it to be able to move forward as a stronger version of yourself. So there's situations like that where it's like, yeah, you do assign meaning after the fact to certain things, right? Because not everything that you experience was 100% destined. And I do believe in like fate, and whatever's meant to be will be. But again, I think that that's like a nuanced topic, and it doesn't feel right to say that like you can have a destiny, but like you like, I fucking hate the people that say like, oh, you knew when you came to Earth that you were signing up to experience these horrible things. Like, I get it from a spiritual standpoint, like there might be like truth and layers to this shit, but you can't just be saying that shit to the average person because it sounds fucking crazy. So yeah, I think that some things happen and we assign meaning to them to be able to operate going forward from that. And then I do think there's a lot of things that happen in your life that are destined for you no matter what. And in my life, when those things have happened, I've noticed that God will literally put like Easter eggs in my life. Like, for example, I went through this period of time where I was going and spending a lot of time in this one area. Like I always would pass through there. And for some reason, it was a place that I just made like a conscious note of every time I passed it or went through it. surprised that I had never been there before. And then literally like 3 months later, I ended up getting a job, and that job ended up being in an office building, like in the center point of the area that I had been going to really frequently for the first time in my life, like right before that happened. And I wasn't like purposely applying to jobs like in that area. And on top of that, then like one of my like best friends, I'm really close with her family, ended up also living like right in that area as well. So I think that it's like certain things, like obviously me getting that job and meeting those people was meant to be. And I think that like the fact that for the first time in my life, I randomly started having to drive through that area to go through where I was going, like the few months prior leading up to it, like that's like an Easter egg from God being like planting the seed, you know, like that's how I view it. So yeah, I think that it's both things. And again, you have to be able to use your discernment. I don't give a fuck. I don't care if you're sick of hearing me say that word. I will never stop saying it because I think that everyone needs to have it so that they can like not be a fucking idiot. What's something society tells us is important that you think actually isn't? So many things. Seriously, so many things. I feel like I can't even think of them because they're so obvious, but I think that's because I've deconstructed like the idea of, for example, like consumerism. I also think that it depends like what society you live in, right? Because all of these things are going to be affected as well by the culture that you're residing within. I would say like the standard of perfection that is used to drive, for example, again, like consumerism, or like capitalism, right? Like this construct of what perfection is was created so that people can literally make money off of you. So again, it's like you have to have your own standard of who you want to be, and the ways that, like I said, you're going to interact with yourself and the world around you so that you can be able to take society with a grain of salt. Like you literally have to be able to make your own informed decisions about the way that you're going to exist in this world. What's the most embarrassing thing that you believed for way too long before realizing you were wrong? Okay, I don't know, but what's really embarrassing is that I literally didn't learn till I was like 20 years old that you had to take the lint out of the dryer machine. Imagine how many times I almost caught a house on fire. Like that's fucking crazy to not know that till the age of 20. And like I've been doing my laundry since the age of 7. So the fact that I didn't know that, don't ask. I don't know. What's a nice thing people do that actually annoys you? Fuck, I don't know. Like, what's a nice thing people do that actually annoys you? I don't know. I think it depends on the person, right? Because, wait, you know what this reminds me of? I don't care if this sounds bad. It's like when people say, like, oh, if like someone that is ugly does something for you beside, or a guy that you think is hot, or like a person that you're attracted to, it's like one of them is like flattery or one of them's flirting, the other one's harassment. You know what I mean? So I don't know. For me, I'm really fucking irritated when I feel like someone is cosplaying as themselves in the real world. Like if I feel like, and again, it's none of my fucking business at the end of the day because I don't even surround myself with people like that. But when, I don't know, just weirdo fake fucking vibes, or when people are like fake nice. I fucking hate when people play both sides and they play Switzerland. Like, that irritates me as well. Like, where's your spine? Literally stand up. And I think that's different than being able to read a nuanced situation. But yeah, I think that it's like there's a time and place for everything. And I hate a bitch that plays Switzerland when nothing. I don't know. Like, I guess some people might have a different opinion than me. I hate people when they do it to like be fucking fake though. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, honestly, I think I'm going to end it because it's been an hour and 3 minutes. I didn't even answer all the questions. There's a lot more, but that's like probably just going to be saved for a different time. Hi. Oh, big yawn. You're so cute. So yeah. Well, thanks for listening. I was really sick last week, so that's why I didn't post an episode. Not that I owe anyone an explanation, but I've really been wanting to be consistent, and I finally came back and posted an episode 2 weeks ago, and I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm gonna post next Wednesday. And then I got sick and I literally couldn't do anything all week, and I had to work remote from my house. So I'm very grateful that I'm feeling in good health so that I could film this. And yeah, thank you so much, and love you all very much. And so does Mr. Juniper. He loves you guys too. He's so cute. Okay, bye.